In my particular situation, what happened was he was selling a big batch, and so what I did was I reached out to him. I liked what he was saying, and a lot of people was talking the same talk. April Lejeune was, Yusufel was, a whole bunch of different people were talking the same talk. But I liked his particular approach. The problem I had with what was going on was he gave me this big spiel about everything he was going to send to me and give me and all this stuff, and it didn't happen. And something about a trust and but what I got with him, I only talked to him like 3 times, and maybe 4, but he kept saying, just do this, you got this, you already know. And that wasn't cutting it, because I went all in. When he said do it, I gave him the whole $5,500 and said, hey, let's make this thing happen. And it turned out I ended up on a phone call because with him, and Divine Nine was kind of an intermediary type situation there. It wasn't she didn't have anything to do with it. She was just, hey, he don't accept personal calls. Let me get him on the phone for you, that kind of thing. And JC got him on the phone. And he was pretty. Now, don't get me wrong. I can cuss like a sailor. I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps. I know how to cuss. What happened? But anyways, he started cussing me like he owned me. Can you turn it up? Am I still on? No, wow. I can't hear nothing.
I can hear you.
So, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, he gets on the phone and he has a little bit. He copped a Napoleon syndrome on me, like he was a little feller. And I was like, "Hey, son, that ain't no call for that." And I said, "Here's the deal." I said, "I give you $5,500. You ain't done a damn thing but run your mouth. You haven't helped me with nothing, provided me with nothing. I couldn't even navigate his stinking video thing where you can get on his platform and look at his videos." And I kind of got the impression all he really wanted to be was a guy who made videos on Pomeroy. And I don't have a problem with Pomeroy. Those talks were very interesting. But I only got to see a couple of them because I could never figure out how to continuously navigate that stupid site. But when he got on the phone and started cussing me, I said, hey, you listen here, you little shit. I said, we can solve this. I said, you ain't give me nothing. I have not used anything of yours. I don't owe you anything. I said, just send me my money back. We'll call it good. And then he went off on a tangent about something about it was a donation to his ministry. I was like, no, that was more of a con artist sort of thing. It's kind of what I got out of it. I sort of felt like he was just a little, he was a little bit of a con artist sort of feller. And I wasn't very impressed with all that. So after a pretty heated exchange, I told him to piss off. I said, you just be who you say you are. I said, you just stay with your so-called clean hands and you keep that money. I said, and I'll just write you off as a learning experience. I said, but I said, well, I'm done with you. I said, you didn't do nothing but take my money and run your mouth and run off somewhere. I said, so that's the end of that garbage. I was putting up with that shit from nobody. But that was just, my experience with him wasn't very good, and I didn't talk to him but a couple times, and he didn't provide me a stinking thing of any value I could see, and he couldn't even explain it to me. With you would think for $5,500, a guy would sit down with you and make a couple hours at a time to say, "Hey, let me walk you through these steps, these procedures. Let me help you. Here's the reason why. Here's what you're looking for. Here's the outcome. Here's the goal." Oh no. I only had him on the phone about 10 minutes at a time, I think, and I only talked to him 3 or 4 times at best. But my opinion was he had figured out a way to get money out of people through a church program, and really what he needs is a big old dose of the IRS run up his ass. But that's just my opinion. But I didn't fool with him. I didn't run him down nowhere. I didn't make videos on him. I didn't call him out. I mean, he's just a little weasel, in my opinion, and I just kind of wrote him off as a little weasel.
Right. Thank you very much for your story. That's pretty devastating, and that's a lot of money. But, you know, who knows how much he's actually got away with scamming and drifting off of people.